Period.
I'm surprised that looks like, oh, Canada. Did she recharge out?
Let me retweet this. All right. Welcome to the live finale of the Society. We have our final two, Sophia and Daly here or whatnot. Right now, what I'm going to do is give you guys a chance to start off with your opening statements. Once you guys start off with your opening statements, we're going to send you to a breakout room and host a really quick jury roundtable. And then after that, we will bring you guys back. And then we will do jury questioning, and then they will vote, and we will reveal who the winner of this season will be. So, do we have any volunteers for going first between Daly or Sophia? Any volunteers? Otherwise, I'll spin a wheel for opening statements.
I can go first.
Okay. Daly first, and just remember you have 5 minutes for your opening statement. You don't have to use all of it if you don't want to. But yeah.
Am I good to start?
Hold on. That's the wrong thing. Fuck. Okay, yeah, you're good.
All right. So, hello, jurors. I'm just gonna take this opening statement time just to give you all a bit of a rundown of my journey from phase 1 to phase 3. It has been a crazy 3 weeks with all of you, and I really hope that whether or not we work together closely in the game, that you can all go into these statements and questions with an open mind. Jumping right into phase 1, Mauricio and Devon tried to target me on night 2. Due to relationships that I built early on, they were unsuccessful in their attempt to target me. Obviously, being their target, I wanted to make sure that I could get them out before they got me. The next night, Ava and I formed a plan to flush Devon's idol so that it couldn't be used against me, and nominated Mauricio, which then led to his eviction that night. And at that time, I believed that these moves benefited me more than anybody else in the game. The night of the triple was another tough night for me in the game when I lost 2 of my close allies in the game at the time, being Isaiah and Lachlan, as well as my sole nominees surviving the vote. Losing Isaiah and Lachlan was a tough hit to my game because I was already in danger for being targeted as a part of the Northern Lights crew, when in all reality, I genuinely didn't have a great prior relationship to any of them. So I was at the bottom of a group I was involved in, but also being targeted for it. Fast forward to phase 2, when Satanique, a fellow Northern Lights member, nominated me, leading to 3 back-to-back-to-back nominations where I was constantly being told I'd be fine and people had my back, but each and every time I was shown to be the expendable ally. During my first nomination with Ava, almost every single person in the game wanted her out. That wasn't a good move for me, so I chose to risk being targeted even more solely because I wanted to save my ally. I wasn't afraid to piss people off or make myself a bigger target because I was already being targeted. By my 3rd nomination and countless hours of voice calls trying to help myself, I was able to secure my safety by having both Kevin and Caitlin save me in the 3-ring circus. At this point, I was desperate to find anyone else that would listen to my voice, and then I found Polo. I felt within seconds of this VC with Polo that the 2 of us had potential to really do some damage together. We planned to get on the same team that night. That way we could vote in somebody who was sitting pretty in the game. And at that point, we wanted to vote in Sophia. While also planning our attack on Sophia, we had formed a plan to use Polo's vote swap and target Lindsay, which also saved Caitlin, which at that point was someone who I had on my side. The next day, right after nominating Sophia, her and I made a deal because I knew that going to 3 stages of hell, I needed all the help I could get. And I really didn't think that it was going to work, seeing as I had just nominated her, but after a good conversation with her, we agreed that that was the move for us. She accepted my deal, and right when I thought things were going to finally make a turn for me, I was sadly brought back to reality when I lost Alex, Bear, and Caitlin all in the same night. Now, the only two things that mattered to me going into phase 3 were one, making sure the other side was not tanking me in the rankings, and two, also strengthening my individual social relationships on my side of the house. Fast forward to the final night of phase 3, where I was dragged into my fourth 3-ring circus of the season already. I was able to defeat Devon in elimination, securing my spot in the finale. Going into the finale, I had a wonderful one-on-one relationship with Jason, as well as Amon. I had my Bratz alliance with Polo, Aqua, and Satanique. And I also had to deal with Sophia not to target each other until at least round 4 of the finale. At this point, I also felt like I had been relatively all right with Kyle and Chris throughout the whole game, despite never really being in any alliances. But it was brought to my attention that y'all's side of the house had me as your second target going into the finale. So I didn't necessarily feel like I could rely on those relationships. So I didn't really take the time to try and further those going into the finale.
You have about 30 seconds left.
Perfect. I'm just wrapping it up. With that being said, I'm going to pass the mic on. I want to wait to talk about the events of last night until later, but I'm excited to answer any questions that y'all throw my way.
And thank you, Clayvo, who cheered 50 bits and said, "Let's go daily" with the heart emoji. Thank you, Clay.
Oh, you could have kept going.
No, that was the only message. That was the only message.
Oh,
So,
that's it.
yeah.
Sophia, you're up. Whenever you're ready, 5 minutes. I'll give you a 30-second warning, like I gave Daily.
Okay. Hi, Jers. First and foremost, I want to say it's been amazing getting to know you all. I came into this game not even having heard of 87% of you. I did the math because that's what I do. But I'm happy to say that each person got a perfectly clean slate with me. I was never going to prejudge someone or write them off, and I'm proud to call you guys friends at this point. This shit has bonded us, and I'm just glad to have gotten to know you all organically over time. So ultimately, all I can ask is that you hear me out and hopefully vote for me. It would mean the world to me. So anyway, this is my pitch. I'm going to talk fast because I have a lot to say. So I believe in me not knowing people that it was integral that I worked overtime to learn a lot of pre-existing connections, put together all the pieces I could, navigate the best I could by finding the people who would need me the most from start to finish. I did not slack in my social game I started day 1, minute 1. I went to work. I was looking into people and I was asking people certain questions to see who they liked, who they didn't like. Lindsay told me a lot. Brianna told me a lot. Brew told me a lot. Everyone was giving me insight into everybody. And I found that very, very helpful to see what pre-existing connections existed. I had people bringing back plenty of information, including Ava, Ricio, Chris, Amon, Moon, Brew, Brianna, etc. So the next step would essentially be to isolate those people that were over-connected and also isolate the people who I knew had my back by extent of other allies, because I only wanted my allies to have my back and not other people's backs. So before I get into more details, I want to just state my stats. I was not nominated until day 10, which was cycle 4 of phase 2. Daly had already received a vote to evict on day 2, cycle 1, and then throughout phase 2 was voted 11 more times, causing his nomination 3 times. So what I think this indicates is that Daly's social connections and social strategic game was a weaker point in phase 2. But he did display his competitive aspect quickly because he was forced to. Whereas I happily threw the Ringmaster competition phase 1, I threw the second comp in the Circles of Hell because I knew that the safety chain was really not an issue. And I made little strategic stepping stones here and there throughout to further me. There was the Girls Alliance, which I wasn't super stoked about because I felt limited, but in the end, for a couple of rounds or two, it got out Isaiah and Lachlan, who were Daly's allies, which was even better for me because they were connected to a lot of people, and I knew that I was never going to encroach upon that. I knew about many alliances, like people talked about. There was like a guys' alliance called like the Hose. There was an alliance with Daly and Brian, Brianna, Lachlan, Isaiah, etc. And having all of these things intact was not going to be good for me. So I fully went into that and I wanted to eliminate these people. So Daly, even though displaying competitive prowess, when it is risky to throw in a competitor in phase 2, he was still voted in 3 times. I, on the other hand, was thrown in on the last cycle of the phase, and it would not have happened if not actually for an evictee. if Ava had not put me last on the list, I believe I would have survived any of those votes in any other grouping. But being last in a group of 4, that's an unpredictable factor that I definitely could not control. So that's where I would have to step it up. I think this game comes down to a lot of mitigating probability, because you can't control every single factor. But I believe that I did, to the best of my ability, always control the probability, because there is a lot of chance. Either way, I think that while Daly had a bit of an underdog story, I believe a lot of it came from his positioning and the way he positioned himself. And I think that I managed to position myself in a different manner to allow myself not to fall into a back against the wall phase until the finale. The finale, yes, I did have to win 6 comps back to back. I maybe only had to win 5, but either way, I still needed to win a lot of comps. But I believe that I had to win so many at the end was because I was emerging as the biggest threat socially and competitively, not simply competitively. I timed my comp wins in the way I wanted to. I won the first comp in the 3 circles of hell because I wanted to remain bloodless. A lot of my game relied on maintaining a middle ground. I did not want to have to
30 seconds left.
Okay, I did not want to have to vote out Alex myself. I wanted to continue my relationships with people who were close to Alex, but I still wanted Alex out to ensure that other people would be isolated. So when 3 people left back to back that were all close to one person, I knew that was my time to strike. I made an Excel sheet, I made a probability of all the rankings, and I made sure that the bottom people that were the easiest to tank in the rankings were the people that I tanked, and enforced people on the other. I got into
Time's up.
Anyway, I'll talk more later.
Never cheered 100 bits, said Sophia Queen with a heart emoji. Jewel cheered 5 bits, said Sophia Queen with a heart emoji. Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Alrighty. Right now, Ryan, if we can get a breakout room open, and Camille and Prad, you guys go to the breakout room to hang out with Daly and Sophia, so we can get into our a quick jury roundtable that is going to be assisted by Plethora. I don't know if she's talking though.
I'm here. I will be talking.
Period. Thank you. I'll have to use the power of veto on me. I'm safe.
Am I in the right spot?
Right.
I only got to half.
I was like losing my breath. That was too much.
Brando cheered 100 bits, said love you cutie with a heart face emoji. Thank you, Brando. Lindsay J cheered 100 bits, said these are the most gorgeous people to have in a finale. Thank you, Lindsay, for 100 bits. Am I in the right room, or am I supposed to be in? I think I'm supposed to be in the other one. Okay.
I think that you are supposed to be in the other one.
Go to the main session.
I was confused. Man, I can't even go back to the main session. Okay.
Hold on, I can.
I don't know if
never.
move me.
Yeah, just hit leave room and then leave breakout room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with what Polo's saying, just like the social elements and like how like I like to kind of see myself also within a winner, like kind of selfishly. I like to see like how I was a part of their game. Like sometimes that's important to me. So that's something that like I'm gonna look at as well.
Love a good ego boost and this game. Yeah.
I kind of want to.
Okay.
Can I piggyback off of Bree real quick? Hey y'all. Um, for me in a game like this with so many different changing like formats and variables that were like constantly shifting, I think what I really want to see is how someone really managed their social game to get them through all of that, because there were so many moments in the game that were almost impossible to strategize around. And so I think for this particular game, I really want to see someone who really excelled in the social strategy.
Yeah, that's very fair. Society can kind of seem like Polo was talking about, that there is like a lot of elements that are like luck based, but I believe if like you really plan good, like your positioning strategically and socially, you can kind of overcome the like luck factor and randomness that can come with society. So I completely agree with that. Anyone else want to go?
Also, just generally, how much of a slay their win would be. I didn't mention that before.
I love that.
I can go. I think the major thing for me, given how I've seen the game, is like game awareness. Like, how aware are you of everybody's connections? So I feel like that's very important, because that's how you can really strategize, in my opinion. Once you know who's working with who, you understand how to create dynamics with them. So I just want to see more of that. Like, where was the game awareness of where everybody else was, or where you thought they were? So that's kind of how I'm seeing my vote.
Yeah, game awareness is definitely very important for me as a juror too. Like, did you have like the right reads of the game, the right reads of like, I don't know, the games people were gonna play, and like how you as a potential finalist can get their jury and everything. So yeah, game awareness is definitely a big one. I don't know if anyone else has anything to add, or like you guys want to move on to another section of this roundtable.
Yeah, let's keep it moving. I'm down.
Clef, can I ask you a quick question?
For sure. Let's go.
Do you have an idea of like when we're gonna be questioning the finalists?
Like literally right after this. Like I want to say like, Josh, I don't know if you have a time, like about
5
like
minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Okay, that's cool. Can I go first?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, thanks. Sorry. Go ahead, guys.
You're good. Okay, so society is a game of ups and downs, obviously, like a lot of moving factors like we've been talking about. What are like for you guys the most shining moments of each of the finalist game? Like something that, I don't know, really impresses you in their game, and their weaker points that you're gonna be like questioning them about more.
So I'll say that both Sophia and Daly, I think what they have in common is that they're pretty flexible in terms of who they're going to work with. I think they had their people that they were close with, but I both targeted Sophia and Daly, but both of them are very much like, hey, that was the past. If you're willing to work with me now, I'm down. And I think that's like a really good thing that both of them have in common. Going into the finale, I had like an alliance with Daly, and then I had a kind of agreement with Sophia, similar to Bree, where we kind of wouldn't touch each other at the very beginning, that we wouldn't be each other's number one target, and I think that's good. And then, yeah, Sophia kind of slayed at the last half of like the finale, because she had like 4 people who were trying to get her out, and then she succeeded. She successfully made it to the end, and I think that was a shining moment for her for sure.
Yep, that's true. Flexibility is like super important in orgs, so much things can change round to round, and like if you're stuck in your ways, you cannot shoot yourself on the foot. But both finals definitely displayed a lot of flexibility in their games, so yay for them.
I just gotta say, Paulo, like even after listening to like Daly's little speech, like it didn't sound like he was that flexible coming into the finale. Like he literally listed people. He was like, well, Chris and Kyle were going to target me, so I did not invest in those relationships. So I'm like, I don't really see flexibility there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, for me, as like I'm not really like a comp heavy person. Like I'm more of like a social player. So same thing, like I like to see myself in other players. And I think for me where Daly lacked was like there was a lot of moments where I just like never spoke to him and I had no idea like what his plans were, what his intentions were. Whereas Sophia was like on top of every single connection that she had. I don't think that she ever let any of her allies like out of her sight for a day. Like that there was constantly game talk and connections with her where I feel like Polo's dog is hella distracting right now. But I feel like with Sophia, she just like she never let you out of sight. And Daly, I think like had to play catch up a lot of the times where Sophia was just like at a constant pace with everything.
Anyone agree.
Else has anything to add?
I think
guys, I don't know.
Bree nailed it on the hammer with that, honestly. That's how I see it, at least, in terms of that.
I mean, how important is it for you guys that people really invest in their personal one-on-one relationship with you specifically in this game? It's like, are you not willing to vote for someone that kind of maybe didn't invest as much time with you specifically, developing like both that personal, but also obviously game relationship, or can you kind of look past that?
I think for me, like Daly was always kind of just like an easy vote for me because I didn't have any attachment to him. All of his deals with me kind of fell through and didn't really feel real to me. Whereas Sophia, like there was many moments where I was like, what do you want me to do, Sophia? Like what helps you in this game? Because I was just like so misted by like our relationship that I was like going to her, asking her like what benefits her. Like that's dumb. I don't know why I did that. But like I was just so involved with my relationship with her that it felt like that's what would help me as well.
Really quickly before we move on, Jason, who do you think deserved to win and why? Like who are you leaning towards based on your observations of the game? You're muted. I think you're muted. Or your audio isn't there.
Yeah, you're still muted. Yeah.
If you want to type it, one of us can read it. Real quick, I'll just say that me personally, I'm somebody who has a big ego and I love if I'm involved in the story too. But I will say, if the two ways that it comes up is that if you're my number one ally and you make it, I'm like, yeah, I'm rooting for you. The other way it comes up is if I tried to get you out the entire game and you're still there, that shows that I couldn't accomplish my goal, and those are brownie points for you. And so I think different members of the jury were in different positions in that regard. I tried my hardest to get Sophia out. I think other people tried their hardest to get Daly out, and they're still there. So I think that's points for them, in my opinion.
For sure.
For sure. You're still muted, Jason, so we're just gonna go ahead and bring the finalists back. Unless anyone else has anything to say, Chris, Aqua, Amon.
Jason, put it in the chat. We can read it, like Polo said, if you want to.
Yeah.
I want your like voice represented.
We only heard from 4 of the jurors. That's kind of sad. Everyone else say something.
Get him, Bleth. Tell him what's up.
Amon, Chris, Aqua said they are just
Sorry,
ready
girl.
to
I
vote.
just got to my Airbnb, girl. I'm not trying to be on here right now.
Live your life, bestie.
That's a mood, I'm not gonna lie.
Iman
Get in.
can't throw me under tonight, so she doesn't have anything to say. I'm just kidding, girl. Love you.
The way you got her to unmute though, but I don't hear anything she's saying.
Let's bring him back.
I'll say that one interesting thing about that I noticed about Sophia is that I don't think Sophia lied to me once in the entire game. And I think that's impressive because I think a lot of bitches were lying throughout the game, including me. And then Daly, I would love to know if he lied to me at all. So I think my question is going to reflect that.
We're gonna bring them back. Let's just go to the questioning or whatnot. Jason, if your audio still isn't working, just write your question in your DR. or whatnot, and we'll just read it. You guys are free to go off camera if you want.
And can I still go first, Josh, so I can get back to my man?
Yes.
Thank you. Love you.
Let's see. Jody cheered 100 bit, said, hell of a boss speech, I thought. I'm Team Daily, but seeing Sophia play the first time, ... Fire emoji. Thanks, Jody. Jack cheered 7 bits and said, Dan Bree, hottie, kill it, queen. Thanks, Jack. Rachel All cheered 100 bits, said, Pleth, I'm obsessed with you. Thank you, Rachel. Rachel All.
Rachel, I hate you and love you the most at the same time.
Jayla cheered 100 bits, said, Carla, Laura, play Fort. This is an interesting way to get them to play Fortnite.
All right. As they filter back in. Sorry, right. I don't know if you saw my message, but I didn't know I had power, so I just went and ended all the breakout rooms. But we're gonna get right into the jury questioning. Kyle, you are up first.
All right. Hi, Daily. Hi, Sophia. Congratulations, you two. That was like a wild 9 weeks of our life. We've been like stuck together. So congratulations for navigating like 98 formats and making it to the end, because I never even knew on any given day what the format was. So I have a different question for either of you, but I'll try to go quickly. I am a very social player, and I don't necessarily think I did the best job of that in this game, but that's really my go-to. And so with that in mind, Sophia, my question for you is, which pre-juror relationship best benefited your game and why?
I would say the pre-juror relationship that best benefited me was probably my relationship with Brew. I feel like Brew was somebody who was very much connected to nearly the entire house. He was close to Devon, legit, Jason. He had an ear with Brian as well. Obviously, me, him, and Moon were very, very close. Me, him, Moon, and Brianna had a 4 from pretty much the very beginning of this game, and we all brought information back to that group very often. And a lot of times, like when information was told to me, it was also often told to Brew. Like I believe certain things that even like Aqua told me, I did not bring back, but Brew did. And I was like, oh, good. Now I have a way out, and I'm not going to be the sole person to blame for my group knowing a lot of information, because Brew brought back a lot of information to share to all my allies. So it wasn't like I was the sole person giving all the information, but I was getting everything. He called me every day, and told me every single thing that like Brian said, every single thing that Devon, legit, etc. said. And I feel like that very much helped me navigate to position myself accordingly, whether it be picking groups for phase 2 to make sure I was never in danger except for that last day when it was the group of 4. And overall, I would say Brew was definitely my biggest help, even though that may have been partially why he was targeted, but it was probably very likely because people knew that he would lose the comp. But either way, that also benefited me when he left. Sorry, can I keep going?
I was gonna say you can keep going. I forgot to keep track of time, but Davey, when you go, you can go as long as you want as well.
Okay, sorry. So also when he left, that kind of opened the door for me to pretend like I was like super, super isolated, and feeling as if I was the bottom of our group, even though I knew that I was pretty decently positioned in it.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, I do believe that Brew was the person who helped me the most for pre-juries.
Cool. Thank you, Sophia. Am I off mute? I can't even tell. Yes. Okay. So Daily, my question for you, I know you actually kind of addressed this a little bit in your speech at the beginning, saying that like you knew that I thought you were a threat or I was targeting you or something, and so you didn't really need to invest in our relationship. And so my question for you is, if you pretty much gave me nothing throughout the game, why should I give you my vote tonight?
So I feel as though I might be getting like this, or there's this perspective that I didn't try socially. When in all honesty, I was put with the Northern Lights group from the beginning. Like I didn't have a chance with like an equal chance with everyone from the beginning that maybe Sophia did, because people were in everyone's ears saying, oh, there's already a 5. Oh, there's already like a 7. Like those are going to stick together. I tried my best to have somewhat cordial relationships with people, just to kind of get a feel of, as time went on, who do I really have like an actual good feeling about. I feel as though our relationship, Kyle, it was something that I never acted on because I knew who you were with. I knew that I wouldn't be a priority right away, but it was something that I wanted to potentially keep open because I needed to. Like I literally had to talk to every single person all the time, even if it was a little bit or a lot, just to try and figure out if anyone would give me the time of day. Like I really was put in a corner where for some people, it didn't matter what I said to them. I could have promised them the whole world. They still have 5 people over me, and I'm still at the bottom. Like, I just had to go with my gut and think, okay, if I'm not going to be prioritized and if everything I'm going to say is just going to a group of 4 other people, why should I even do that if I'm already being targeted for breathing, basically? So I guess that would be my reason.
Cool, thank you. I appreciate it. No hard feelings. Like I'm not trying to be a dick, but yeah, thank you both so much for answering. It was a pleasure meeting and playing alongside both of you, and I really wanted to kick both of your asses, but obviously you kicked mine. So congrats and good luck tonight, you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, Aman is having audio issues, so I'm going to read the question for you. She said it's for you both. David, you'll go first this time because Sophia answered first the last time. But I'm going to time this time, so you guys have 2 minutes. Just keep that in mind. Question for both. What was your biggest misstep in the game?
It's hard to pick one. Like, honestly, I feel like my biggest misstep was just, I hate to say it, I just feel like my presence, like I literally was put in a bubble from the beginning. Like for anyone who's ever played an org and has been in that position, like you know how hard it is to get out of that. I didn't play a perfect game. I had literal constant ups and downs. My sole focus in this game was survival. Like I watched ally after ally after ally after ally get picked off while I was being thrown into elimination. Like I really don't feel like I made one singular whoa. Like I almost just messed up my whole game because that was my whole game. Like I was constantly back up against the wall, fighting just to stay a day, like on VCs for 7 hours a day, just trying to find someone, trying to rally every single vote that I possibly could. That's it. Sorry.
Thank you, Daly. No, you're good. Just to repeat the question, Sophia, what was your biggest misstep in the game?
I would say that my biggest misstep, though I did try to limit my comp wins, I do believe they were timed in a manner to promote bloodlessness on my hands. I still do believe that in showing competitive ability, in the finale, it put my back against the wall. At the end, I do believe that because it was at the end rather than in the middle of the game, I do believe that is better in a sense, but still I do believe in showing enough of my comp ability that was slightly a misstep because it did promote me having to win the final 6 rounds back to back to survive. While I do believe I was targeted because I was a social and strategic threat as well, I still think the competitive aspect was on people's minds. So I would say if I had managed to lower my threat level, that could have been beneficial. Although I do believe my presence also made that difficult to do, being that from day one, Caitlin did a deep dive on me, was telling everybody about all these games that I won, saying how much I win a lot of comps. So I do believe my presence inherently did promote having to get out of that comp threat hole to begin with, which is why I did try to lower that level. But I guess there's always room for improvement. So I would say if I had been able to lower that more, that probably would have been ideal. But I think I did what I could. Yeah.
Thank you. Fuck. Okay.
I've got some messages to read for a second. If
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Go.
Jack cheered 100 bits, said, "Go Sophia Queen, kill it" for 100 bits. Thank you, Jack. Jody cheered 10 bits, said, "Have the best Friday night date, Kyle. Great game too." Thank you. And that was it. But thank you, everyone.
Can we also pay honor attention? Hayden, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I think I just kept disconnected for a moment. Okay, so Daily went first the last time, so Sophia, you're going to be first for this question. Jason's audio is like not kicking in, so I'm going to ask you. And it's not going to require 2 minutes. He gave specific directions, and he just said, please describe your overall gameplay in 1 word. 1 word only, like no explanation, just describe your overall gameplay in 1 word.
Let me think for a second. Calculated.
What did you say?
Calculated.
Oh, calculated. Okay. Daily, you're up. If you need to take time to think as well, you can.
Is it the same question for me?
Yes, the question was for you both. Please describe your overall gameplay in 1 word. 1 word only.
Adaptability.
Okay, period. Adaptability. And period to your answer as well. Sophia. Fuck. Okay.
And Rachel All cheered 100 bits, said, "Love you, King." Thank you, Rachel. That was it.
Okay, so question from Chris. I'll go with Daily because Sophia went first the last round. Question for Daily. What move or moves did you make in the game yourself that got you to this point? Again, what move or moves did you make in the game yourself that got you to this point?
I think the first move that I made that benefited me and really only me was saving Ava when the almost majority of everyone wanted her out. Not only did that keep a target in that wasn't me, it also brought me way closer with Kevin, who then proceeded to save me moments after I saved Ava. Another move that I would like to take full credit for at this point is Kyle's eviction last night. Satanik and Polo did not want that to go to a tie. They wanted Bree to go, but Bree had offered me a deal. I wanted to take that deal. So I also knew Kyle was targeting me. So for me personally, evicting Kyle, Satanik and Polo chose to follow due to the fact they didn't want it to tie, and Chris was evicting Kyle as well. So, yeah.
Alrighty, I'm assuming Daly's done with his time. So let's move on to Sophia. Chris's question for you is, who would you say you were most loyal to in this game?
The sole person I was definitely the most loyal to would be Brianna, and secondly would probably be Brew. In terms of other loyalties, Chris, Kyle, legit were shortly after that. And I was, before the finale, I was very loyal to Aqua and Satanik in a sense, and Amon, because I wanted to protect myself on multiple sides and use my connections all over the house to further me. But I would say at the end of the day, Brianna was the biggest target for a lot of reasons, so that benefited me to have her there. And also I knew she trusted me 100% and would always have my back and never lie to me.
Thank you, Sophia. Give me one moment.
Ashley T cheered 100 bits, said Sophia calculated queen. Thank you, Ashley.
I think Aqua is here to ask her question.
Hi, y'all. Who am I asking to first?
Whoever, who was the last time? I feel like I just messed up. Was it Sophia? So is it Daly's turn to go first?
I think I just went first, but it really doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Daly answered first last time.
Okay, so then it is Sophia's turn. So yeah, you're asking
Okay.
Sophia then.
Hi, Sophia. Can you remind me of your math, what the percentage was of the people that you came in knowing or not knowing? Sorry.
87%.
Not knowing?
Yes.
Okay. And out of everyone in the cast, who would have made your ideal jury? Who would you have wanted in jury?
I would say, I would say most of the people here, because I do believe I tailored the jury to be people that I was close to. That's why I went so hard to tank Brian and Kevin, because I did not think, well, Brian, maybe I could get his vote, but I did not think I was going to get Kevin's vote. So I really wanted them out of the jury. The only person maybe I would swap, I would want Brew in this jury, and Brew and Moon in this jury. So I would say my ideal jury would be you, Brianna, Kyle, Chris, Amon, Satnik. And then just out of closeness in the fact that they know my game the most, I would say Brew and Moon. And I need one more. And legit knows my game very well. We were very much on the same page going into this finale. And we talked extensively before it.
Okay.
So I think those
And out of all those people that you just mentioned, how many of them did you benefit from having pre-existing connections with?
I would say Brianna and Amon. That's it. Because the only other people I knew of were legit and Ava, and I did not have a good relationship with them prior to this. In Never's Rehab, legit and I didn't even talk at all. And Ava is a pre-juror. So two of them I would say I benefited from, because I do believe that I leveraged that to the best of my ability. Especially in Amon, knowing that we were on two different sides absolutely helped my game immensely. And I wanted to use that to my full ability, which is why I protected her so, so heavily, because I knew that relationship was key to making sure I was safe in almost all scenarios. For example, the safety chain, like I knew it would be safe because both sides, no matter what side I was on, Amon would eventually give me safety and I would be safe in that. So that key, I would say Amon's relationship being pre-existing was the number one thing that I absolutely benefited from in terms of knowing anybody.
Thank you, Queen. And Daly, same question to you. What would have made your ideal jury?
And Daily, before you go, you're not going to have a time limit. So you can speak for as long as you need to answer that question, because I did that for Sophia as well.
Okay. My ideal jury would be yourself, Jason, Polo, Amon, Satanique, Kevin, Chris, maybe Brian.
Okay. And out of everyone in the jury right now, who did you, same question to you, part two to it, who did you benefit the most with everybody in this jury with that same pre-existing relationships?
So pre-existing, based off of who I just listed, I would say Amon as well. Amon is the one that brought it to my attention that I was a target going into the finale. That was kind of a wake-up call, because before the finale, I was in my VR and I was like, oh, I think I'm going to throw some comps tonight. Like, I think I'm kind of protected finally. Like, maybe I don't need to win. Amon told me that information, and I knew, like, I got to do what I have to do to keep the numbers for my side. I don't want to see us get picked off. Amon, as well as Ava, both gave me a lot of information throughout the game. We talked a lot. It definitely kind of weighted off a little bit after Ava's eviction, but I think going into the finale, Amon and I were 100% on the same page, and I definitely felt confident in our relationship that we were gonna make it work.
Thank you so much, y'all. Very proud of both of you. I think you guys played different games for sure. And I think for me, yeah, okay, thank you.
Thanks, Aqua.
Alrighty. Who went first that time, Plef?
Sophia went first.
Okay, so it's Ariana. Thank you. Hold on. The next one's gonna be from Satanique. Just let me find her DR.
And Never Cheered 100 Bits said, "You're both too cute." Thank you, Never. Really appreciate it for 100 bits. That's it.
Oh, there she is. Okay. Oh my gosh, Satanique, why are you? This girl talked a lot since her question. Okay, so what move did you regret most during the game and why?
I think for myself, it's kind of it's a move. It's a pretty unpredictable one. It would be the vote where the second highest vote getter was evicted. It was a crapshoot. I don't think a single person in the cast can say that they knew exactly where every vote was going. But I do feel like had Caitlin stayed and Bree gone, I would have had a lot easier of a time finally moving forward. So I would say that was probably the one time looking back where I was like, damn, I really wish that went the way that I wanted it to. That is it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sophia is going to be the same question for you. What move did you regret most during the game and why?
That's hard because I feel like my regret is more of an overarching sense of my comp ability being displayed rather than a specific move. But I guess yeah, maybe my inability to prevent Brew and Moon from getting evicted. I don't exactly know how I would have had agency in that based on the format, because either way, whether the votes were on one person or the votes were on the other, the same person was going to get dragged. So it was going to be the same competition regardless. But if there had been something larger I could have done, I think that would have helped me a lot in terms of having more people in the finale, because the finale was stacked 6-5, which did cause my allies to get picked off quickly. So had I had one more in there, I think I would have had an easier time and had to rely less on competitions. But it is hard for me to place a single move because a lot of those high intense cycles worked out the way I intended. Like me and Brew threw a vote on Polo, for example, to ensure that Caitlyn didn't have enough votes to stay. Like what Daly was saying, like that was deliberate, and through my socially talking to everybody, that's how I knew a lot of that was going on. So I feel like, being that I was very social and informed a lot of the time, I was able to be calculated a lot. So I feel like it's more the broader overarching sense of showing comparability and not being able to save key allies near the end.
Thank you. You're gonna be up first. For the next question, Bree, if you want to unmute and ask a question, you can. To Sophia.
Hi, can you guys hear me? Congratulations to the both of you. I don't know if anyone has stepped up this far from the jury, but you guys both did really good. I just have a question for the both of you. So it's kind of like a two-part. First, which player being eliminated was best for your game? And then which player being eliminated was worse for your game?
Who goes first?
It's your turn to go first.
Okay, sorry. I would say the best person that was evicted for my game was Kevin. I trained the target on Kevin particularly because, one, I knew that Satnik put him low in her first ranking, so there was a little bit of an opening there. And secondly, I deliberately was hyping up the fact that I would maybe tank Kyle with the other side, do all these things, and I was trying to like hype up the fact that they should tank Kyle instead. Meanwhile, if they compounded upon legit, I think they would have had a better chance of getting one of our people out. But because they switched the focus to Kyle, I think it was a lot harder. And also because I knew Kyle had more connections on the other side. I know that Kyle is close to Polo. So I felt like him being tanked was just going to be a lot harder. So I really trained the target on Kevin, and I felt like that was beneficial to isolate Amon, to be more for myself, to have less people to look out for. So I would definitely say Kevin was the number one. And also because I think I did talk probably the least to Kevin. I think I talked to all of you constantly. If not game, like for example with Polo, I think we talked very little game, but we talked a lot more personally near the end. Even for that, I think Kevin I just talked to the least. So I think in terms of tailoring a jury to have people that I want in it, I think Kevin leaving was very important for me. As for who I would want, what was the other part of the question? Who leaving was the worst for my game? It's still Brew. I already touched upon that. Brew was the person who trusted me the most and was going to go to bat for me. He said he would like fall on the sword for me. So I would say Brew.
Alrighty. Bree, if you want to repeat the question to Daly, and then he can go.
Sure. Wait, let me find it. Okay. which player being eliminated was best for your game, and then which player being eliminated was worst for your game. And don't say that I was the best to leave. Just kidding.
I'm going to start with the worst. I think the player that left that was the worst for my game was Ava. I really felt like Ava was my ride or die. She was a big target in the house at that point. She could win comps. She was kind of the one thing keeping a shield off of me, or keeping a shield for me in that moment, right in the midst of my big target era. So her leaving kind of left me vulnerable. I felt like I had shifted to being kind of a new target along with Aqua. And the person leaving that was best for my game. It's kind of a bittersweet one because they were my ally, but I think Brian's eviction allowed people to finally take a bit of heat off of me. All game, everyone was saying to me was, you know, Daly, the reason you're getting targeted is because you're with Brian. And my rebuttal every time was, well, why don't y'all target Brian then? Like, why are you targeting me if you want to take a shot at Brian? Despite multiple efforts to get rid of me, I managed to last long enough. Once Brian was out, I finally had a little bit of room to breathe, and that kind of led me into a peaceful phase 3 until getting dragged. So I do think Brian leaving, even though it sucked, it did benefit me. It brought me closer with Satanique, and it really set me up for the end game.
All right, thank you, Daly. Legit, I don't know if you can hear me. You're going to be asking your first question to Daly, and then Sophia afterwards, obviously.
Hey, I just want to say congratulations to both of you. You guys played a stellar game in different ways, and I really appreciate that a lot. Honestly, I really don't have any questions. I think a lot of people touch on the things that I was wanting to ask, but I just want to wish both of y'all good luck, and y'all guys played a hell of a game, honestly.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Legit. Polo, last but not least, Polo. Your question is going to be to Daly, and then after Daly, Sophia.
Woo! I am so happy to see you guys here. Like everybody said, congratulations. You guys played a kick-ass game. I think either of you would genuinely be a great representation of our season of society. I'm just going to start by I want you guys to have as much information as you can. So I'm going to start by telling each of you why I think the other person might have my vote, because I am completely undecided. I came into this with an open mind. So, Daly, I think Sophia might get my vote because I am somebody who wants to be the main character, and I tried my absolute hardest to get this woman out of the game, and she was there. By the end of the finale, she had 4 people, presumably Aman was one of them, who wanted her out, and she won her way to the end despite our best efforts, and I think that's kick-ass. In my mind, Sophia was this giant obstacle to overcome, and she was this evil monster, but then I talked to her, and then she was actually really nice and really pleasant, and I enjoyed talking to her quite a bit. And for me, if I can't get somebody out the whole game, that shows that they played a better game than me. So that's why I might vote for her. Sophia, I got to see so much of Daly's game. We would be on calls with our Brats Alliance with Satanique and Brian and Aqua, and I saw his input, his meticulous moves. I saw that he understood the game very well. I saw his input in navigating the phases. I saw how he approached me as somebody who he targeted me and I targeted him previously, and I saw him reach an olive branch out to see if we could work together. Daly's a super nice guy. He came in with a target on his back, and like you said, he's had an underdog story like no other. And again, I want to be the main character, so I might want somebody who I was closely aligned with to win the game. So just so you guys know that, you guys both did great. My question to both of you is going to be the same. Would you say that you played a more honest or dishonest game in the entirety of it? And whichever your answer is, I would like you to give me a percentage. What percent do you think you played the game honest, and what percent do you played the game dishonest? And don't hold back. Thank you.
I think it's my turn, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just trying to think here. Honestly, pre-finale, I lied once. It was debris about the Sophia vote. And that caused me trouble. So I did not really plan on lying after that. The finale, I didn't lie, but I had a couple deals that were brought to me that I just didn't necessarily share. So overall, honestly, I think I played, I'll give myself a bit of room here, 90% honest game as a whole. Was there more to that question?
No, that's perfect. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. I panicked because it got quiet.
Love you.
And then Polo, if you don't just remind asking the question again to Sophia.
Sure. To what degree do you think you played an honest game or a dishonest game? And what percentage of each would you say your gameplay was throughout the season?
I would say I played around 88% honest. I think that the only times I was dishonest was when I knew for certain that people were being dishonest to me first. Typically, when I was presented with a deal, I was always willing to stick to that deal. Whenever Daly approached me with a deal, I was ready to stick to it. I never really had to do anything for the deals, and I usually knew that the deals would benefit me because I felt like I was often in less danger, but like he was a variable that I didn't always have control over, so I felt like those deals were very important. So I knew sticking to all of those deals was very important as well. So I think that a lot of my game was clean in that matter. When I said that I wanted certain people to make it to the finale with me, I meant it. For example, take Aqua. We were very transparent with each other the entire game. We were like, I want us to both get to the finale, but once we're in the finale, it's not really, it's kind of more gloves off. It's just like, I want to try to look out for you a little bit, but we can't make any promises. Same with like Satnik. We wanted to get to the finale both together because I feel like we talked so extensively about just having the same kind of values in this game and like what kind of games we respect. And I really wanted to see that at the end. And I felt like she had my back.
You have like roughly 30 seconds.
Okay. So I would say that the only times I was like maybe dishonest was honestly probably to you, Polo, because I felt like you were throwing deals at me that you did not mean at all. So I would always say that I was agreeing to them, but I put no stock into them because I felt like you put no stock into them either. So I would say my most dishonest was with you, but I think everyone else largely I was honest with.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Just want to say, regardless of what happens, I genuinely hope you guys are proud of the game you played. It's not easy to get to the finale. It's certainly not easy to get to the final two. I love you both. And congratulations.
Thank you, Polo.
Since Daly went first for opening statements, I'm going to have you go first, Sophia, for closing statements. You have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
So I would say that this game is about three things essentially: strategy, sociability, and compatibility. But I would say sociability is the most important thing. And I would say that the least important thing is typically compatibility. But I think that you can also use compatibility to leverage strategy and sociability. For example, winning when I did not want blood on my hands was absolutely part of my strategy. I won specific things like the Circles of Hell. The Circles of Hell was integral to me because I did not have to vote out either side. That was very important. And then I won when there were powers in play, and I did not want to have all that variability, but I still did get to vote to keep my allies safe. I threw the first Ringmaster, I threw the second Circle of Hell because I knew that both sides were going to save me in the safety chain, and I knew that I could just, if Brianna even said, do you want me to save you in the safety chain? I said, no, please don't, because I didn't want to have to choose between 14 allies. I wanted to choose between 6. That puts less blood on my hands. Every single thing that I did, even comp-wise, was to put less blood on my hands to promote the strategy and sociability and maneuverability that I had. Additionally, I think that even certain things can display my sociability a lot, such as the final competition was jury quotes. I got every single thing right. And I feel like that was because I had deep personal conversations with nearly everyone. I knew their mentalities, I knew their values, so I knew what they'd say. Aqua and I had a personal conversation right before the game about how she plays, wanting to lay low, make deals, etc., wanting to be seen for who she is. And that ended up coming into play for the questions, and I knew all of that because we talked about it. Brianna's mentality was always fighting for her allies and sticking loyal to her people, whatever the cost. Jason and I had spoken about the importance of family, and it was natural to know that like he would want to help his mom if he won the money. And with Amon, like I knew who she valued, who she didn't. I knew she would have said Ava and Kevin, not Brian and Kevin. So in knowing all these like personal things about people, I was able to put that on display in the jury quotes portion. And I think that those deep personal connections are very important in this game, and they helped me, but also just in a friendship manner cultivated everything about the essence of this game, and that's about sociability. And I think I exemplified that there. Strategically, I feel like through both my positioning and leveraging comp wins, bloodlessness, and deals kept me nearly untouched. And at the end of the day, I showed agency in getting the biggest targets out. Daly and others wanted me out, but I was not able to be eliminated. And I think overcoming that and prevailing speaks for something. In the words of Paris from BB Can 6, I brought myself here to the final two. And I believe I'm the player who demonstrated well-roundedness the entire way through. I did not start being social come phase 2. I started day 1, minute 1 of the pregame, stayed almost entirely out of danger except for one time, but stayed informed and in the loop at all times to what was going on, accumulating information so that I'd always be able to readily draw little charts of the house and everyone's little connections so I could adapt and see where I fit best. I played up being less alone than I was. I always knew Brianna had me, but I acted worried that she, Chris, Legit, and Kyle would be unbreakable. But instead, in voting with Legit without fail phase 3, I upped my trust with him immensely, wherein we became invaluable to each other, which only heightened my odds in the 3-ring circus scenarios. As I truly believe both he and Brianna would have saved me in any scenario. That ups my odds. And I'd always have done my best to do the same and protect him. I was loyal as hell to Chris, Kyle, Brianna, Legit, and Amon come finale night. I didn't want to overextend, so I did not overpromise. I made deals with Daly, and I had understands with Satanik and Aqua, but I did not want to disrespect anyone with too many falsehoods in the end. I think I played a clean game, and I can only hope that I made the right moves and decisions wherein you think that I played a game worthy of being rewarded too. And also, Daly said yesterday he wanted that it was exemplary if I got out my target. My target was Satanik. I think she played the best game in this house. She had the sociability. She had the strategy. She was never nominated. We played very different games. Daly and I did have backs against the wall at different points in the game. Satanik did not. I think I would have voted for Satanik, so I got out my target. Daly did not get out his target. I was the prime target that everybody wanted to get out, and they could not get me out. And I do think that speaks to something, because I think I was being targeted because of my prowess rather than having a bad social game. So regardless, no matter what your decision is, it's nothing but love. I appreciate you all so much. I'd obviously appreciate you more with a jury vote, but regardless, like I'm just really, really grateful to have played with all of you. You're amazing people, and this entire thing has been something like really nice to pour all of my energy into. Like, it's a bit of a distraction from real life, which is really, really good. And it just means the world to me. So thank you for listening. I know that was a lot all at once. I just wanted to get everything out there. I'd appreciate your votes, and I really appreciate you guys. So thank you again. I think I got out my targets. I think I played a social game, and I think I made genuine connections with all of you. So I really, really do hope that you can reward that. If not, it's all love. Love you guys.
Time. Wow, that was right at 4:59. Okay. Daly, you are up for your closing statement.
Okay. So my game in 2 words this season was survival and adaptability. My adaptability with you guys on the jury alone speaks volumes. Aqua wanted me out night 1. Satanik nominated me. Polo nominated me. Chris nominated me. Bree nominated me. Sophia nominated me. Legit wanted to nominate me, and yet somehow I'm still here. Typically in a game, if I had power, I'd be out for vengeance immediately after any sort of disloyalty or shots taken at me, but I couldn't do that here. I was put in a bubble from the beginning, and I wasn't allowed to just sit back with my alliance and feel comfortable. In order for me to get to where I am now, I had to make any possible relationship work that I could. After my first nomination of phase 2, I spent 7+ hours on voice calls every single day, making sure that I could just survive the night. Out of 29 other people in the cast, I voice called with 21 of you at some point. I had no choice but to literally constantly try and form relationships and trust with people as the game went on. Because while this was happening, I was simultaneously losing allies left, right, and center. Lachlan, Isaiah, Ava, Alex, Baron, Caitlin, all in one night. Brian, Kevin. Then we get to finale night with a format made for a comp beast. And quite frankly, when Bree won the first comp, I was terrified that my side was going to get picked off one by one. Fast forward to the how bad you want it comp, which typically I would be selfish and I would throw a comp like this because being so close to the end and having punishments is just asking to be at a disadvantage. But in this situation, I knew that in order for me and any of my allies to have a chance at winning this game, that I needed to take it into my own hands, risk my game, and keep the numbers on my side. For me, like, that was the turning point in the finale and what opened the pathway for me to get to the end. We were able to go into Final 8 with 5 versus 3 advantage. I was able to keep the people safe that would prioritize me as an ally later down the road. At Final 6, there's a social comp for Ringmaster. Not a single person cut any one of my ropes. How did that happen? I was targeted from the beginning, and I made it to Final 6 somehow, and I'm winning a social comp by a landslide. I fought from the absolute bottom of this fucking hell, and I endured in Phase 2 to a point in the finale where I was being handed the win. At Final 5, my social connection with Amon saved me from elimination. At Final 4, my social connection with Satanique saved me from elimination. And by Final 3, despite playing what I consider to be the biggest uphill battle of anyone in this game, I was saved and brought along to Final 2 with Sophia because she wanted to sit with someone who played a similar game to her. Although I can see where Sophia's coming from, I feel as though there are major differences in our game. I was nominated 4 times before the finale even started. I was the main target coming into the finale. Sophia was targeting me in Phase 2. She says she got all her targets out, but she forgot about me. I'm still here. I did what I had to do to get here. I should have been evicted long before the finale. Sure, the two of us both had to fight, but I had to fight longer and I had to fight harder. In my opinion, Sophia was able to sit back and relax due to her strong alliance, which I give her props for, and due to her reputation and people being afraid to nominate her. But should my chances at winning be reduced because the house was too scared to take a shot at Sophia? You know who wasn't afraid to take a shot at Sophia? Me and Polo were the first people to take that shot, and I nominated her last night every single chance I got. Sure, like, she's still here, but I can't be faulted for nobody else wanting to go along with that move. I was dodging bullets from every direction, and even though I may not have been able to retaliate right then and there, every single person who nominated me, dragged me, targeted me, was eventually eliminated at some point because I was able to find a way when all the odds seemed stacked against me. I would also like to say that despite being targeted since night 1, I was never a final nom until Final 5. I won 6 comps this season. How much time do I have left?
You have a minute.
Okay, I also just want to touch base now that I finished my closing statement. Kyle, I want to add on to your question to me earlier. I guess I would like to say to you, if you genuinely feel as though if I was giving you information and you weren't taking it to other people and that would have stayed between us, then that is my fault and I don't think I deserve your vote. But if I was going to give you information this game and you were going to go back to your allies, I think I made the right call. I was already taking heat from every direction and I couldn't risk taking it from anyone else. Polo, you say that Sophia is the main character energy and she was targeted, but you and I took that shot. I was not afraid to take that shot when I should have been. I was already being targeted by every single person in this game and I literally did not care. I saved Ava when nobody else wanted her to stay. I targeted Sophia. I literally did everything I could every single day. Hours of VCs, just scraping at anything I could to get here. And I'm honestly super fucking proud of the game I played. I've never played a game like this. Thank you, everyone.
Alrighty, thank you guys. Jury, go ahead and lock in your votes. I'll give you guys 5 minutes to 9:22, and then after the vote reveal, we will get right into our seasonal awards. So 9:22 CST or 10:22 EST, whatever you want to call, just in your DR, not Zoom, your DR. We didn't delete any of them. Please lock in your votes.
Damn, was Kyle even here when I was talking to him? Rip.
No, he did not. But it's all good because we heard you.
I gave him Cliff Notes daily.
Thank you.
Alrighty, I have the votes. And just before we start, you both literally, this is probably the strongest final three in society history. So please, be proud of you, proud of yourselves. You both have played amazing ass games. It's been very fun to watch you both play each other's game because Sophia, you did have to fight your ass off in the finale, and Daly, you had to fight your ass off in the season. So it was very interesting to see you guys basically switch positions. And yeah, I think you both are deserving winners, and I'll just get right into the vote count. So Jason, who was juror number 1, has cast his vote for Daly. So that is 1 vote Daly. No vote Sophia. Kyle, the next juror, cast his vote for. Sorry, this pinging is annoying me. Kyle cast his vote for Sophia. So that is 1 vote Sophia, 1 vote Daly. Sorry, just deleting this. Legit. Our next juror, legit, has cast his vote for Sophia. So that is 2 votes Sophia, 1 vote Daly. Aqua, who is next, has cast her vote for Daly. So that's 2 votes Daly, 2 votes Sophia. Satanique has cast her vote for Daily. So that is 3 votes Daily, 2 votes Sophia. Bree has cast her vote for Sophia. So we have 3 votes Sophia, 3 votes Daily. Chris has cast his vote for Sophia. So we have 4 votes Sophia, 3 votes Daily. Polo has cast his vote for Sophia. So we have 5 votes Sophia, 3 votes Daily. Amon has cast her vote for Sophia, which means congratulations, Sophia. You are the victor of Society 7.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Oh my god.
Congrats, Sophia.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Congratulations, both of you guys. Congrats, Sophia.
Congratulations.
Daily, you did so good.
Amazing game from you both. Seriously, amazing game for you both. Very well deserving. Just right now, because I'm holding everybody up and we need to leave. I'm gonna do these awards fast as fuck. We do have awards. How do I find this fucking guideline? Jesus Christ, where is this? But yeah, congrats, Sophia. But congrats to you, Daily, as well. You played awesome. But the second women winner in a row, Rachel Wall, now you, Michaela, y'all stacking it. I'm gonna cast all men next season.
Oh my god. Patrick just said I know that's right, and he said he's willing to play, so right here.
Listen, Patrick, I'm not never mind, Patrick, I'm not snitching on our group chat. Aqua doesn't need to know about our group chats. So we're gonna start off with the one of the bigger ones, player of the season. Production, we definitely discussed it. We talked about it. We gave it to Sophia. Just from our perspective, from when the season started, Sophia and even Brew Moon were in so many people's like top 5 allies, and that didn't change for like a minute. But like when I tell you this girl was like maybe like a private investigator, she inspected and searched for everything, every small connection, every little thing. If I open up her DR to the public, you would see just how much in-depth her thought process like was throughout the season and analyzing her house guests or whatnot. Most social, we gave to a combo of Satanique. The girl went, like, literally was not in danger. Nobody ever thought about, like, freaking coming out to Satanique, like, at all. Like, she was very rarely mentioned as a target, went the furthest without being nominated, and just, like, very much came up short. Who knows what happens if she's sitting in the finals with either Daily or Sophia. But we also gave that to Moon and Brew, because, like, Sophia, Moon and Brew, like, they beasted the fuck out of this game. Like, so many people had Moon and Brew as well in their top 5 allies for like the longest of time. The only time people became skeptical of Moon was when Moon and Brew is when Kevin, I feel like, made that DR about like paying for their Valentine's Day dinner. But even then, like, people was just like still I don't want to say hiding behind, but like people still weren't actively targeting them until they both just dropped back to back, which like was some of like the most biggest moves of the season. Most resilient, we definitely gave most resilient to Daly. The game he had to play was like very like insane. This man was fighting for his life, like basically every day. It was just like I think I even made jokes about it. I was like, "Oh, what do you guys have against like skinny gay twinks?" Because he was just always going into elimination, and he would just like come out and he would win. And I think it was very hard and very impressive how he repositions himself to like not be targeted and then just like effortlessly slide to final two of this game. And that's why we gave that award to Daly. Jason, you was definitely in the running because you had like a similar path as well. But overall, we went with Daly because of his ability to make it to the end and reposition himself. Funny is we gave to Brew. He's not on the stream, but like Brew's VR, like he was shading all of y'all all the time. So it was just like he's hilarious. He's a hilarious guy. I just did reacted to everything that he said. Best DR entry. So I'm not gonna lie, this was very hard because this is like our most active cast like ever. Like literally, I don't know if you guys realize this, but like week one, like pregame phase, there was over 50 alliances made. Some of you know, just because like it became sketchy when you were request an alliance and I made it via group DM with myself and you guys, it's because nothing else can fit in the server. Like the server was at capacity. You guys had literally over 50 alliances week one. But for best DR entries, it was a tie between Sophia and between Bree. Bree has like her Barb's like thoughts, which was very visually appealing, but they both was like very extensive, very long. It's like almost reading a novel when you're reading like both of their DRs, but it was like very like enticing to look at. I'm gonna go through maybe like delete some comments that they both have made or whatnot, but I'm gonna use it as an example of like what we mean by like extensive DRs when we're going over like strategy, like targets, exactly like who you feel good with. Like those girls went in depth in their DR entries like every day or whatnot. But we will be opening that just after we confide with them on like what they want deleted and what they want to stay, because some people in their DR you can get, it's your safe space, so you just say things sometimes or whatnot. But going into the DR buddies, we have a two-way tie. Obviously, we want to give it to Clay because of his daily edits. His daily edits was very clever, and honestly, I feel like Clay did witchcraft to Will Daly to the spot that he's in, because it was just like it was so good. They made amazing edits. But then we want to give it to Satanique's DR buddies as well. They were always there, like even just like a devil on her shoulder, like yo, write like an open DR, like be sassy, be shady, but like they always gave her good advice and they always vibed, and they would shake the contestants too based off of her DR like entries. Like they'd be like, fuck her, cut her, or like, yeah, keep him, I like him. So it was just like it was funny. Another honorable mention who's not here is Kevin. I'm gonna open best moments and you guys are gonna see Kevin's moments with the ZR buddy, and in best moments, it was like a time where like Kevin was like, yo, I want to come today. I knocked out 8 people in a knockout round. Did you see me slay? And his DR buddy was like, I have no idea what you did. And then Kevin was trashing Bree in his DR at a point, and it was like really funny. He was like, forget Bree. And then his DR buddy goes, honestly, I'm a Brianna stan. And then he was like, fuck you. And he was like, I'm sorry, she ate. It was just like, I don't know. It was funny. You was hitting best moments, but yeah, he was a Bree stan. It was funny. Best spectator, we are gonna give to Stu. I don't know if he's here tonight, but he always shows up. He always gives an opinion. He's always like, he even paid an entry fee for one of the contestants that didn't end up paying. So we love Stu or whatnot. He engages in my shenanigans.
I'm just gonna read, just because you brought up Stu, just read his messages because it's been a little. Stu cheered 1,200 bits, said amazing final two, amazing season, congrats. Thank you, Stu. I'll read the rest after, but just you brought up Stu, so I'll read his message.
Best alliance. Okay, I know some of you are like feel sacred with your alliances, but I was very biased on this one because when I say that this was the most chaotic alliance, I feel like in society history, it has to be the girls' room. That's the best alliance ever. Even Ava leaked the leak in such a villain move when she left. But you guys, I swear to God, they had me in that server doing witchcraft. Like I literally felt like I was praising a god or like someone practicing Buddhism. I don't know, but it was just always candles and everything would work out in the girl's favor. Everything would work out in the girl's favor, and I would go in and I would chant like maybe once or twice a day. But like it was very entertaining because they would all pretend that they're all like girls' room locked, and they would go to DRs and be like, "Fuck Ava," or like, fuck them on, fuck this. No, that's stupid. I don't want to do that." And granted, like although they like trash each other and talk shit about each other, they did kind of work together for some cycles to snipe like people out. Blindsided Lachlan, like a lot of things like that they did, like they did. It's not like they didn't work together. It was a very short period of time. Chanel, Illinois, you're twerking. I'm giving awards, but I hate this. She's annoying. But yeah, that was a very chaotic alliance, and I really, really, really enjoyed the girls' room. Biggest villain, and y'all really should have ridden her ass over with the bus, goes to Bree. Like, Bree, like, you are a villain. I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know why y'all got this Bree.
What?
I got a good version of Bree. I got the Bree and like Swift. Maybe she was sneaking me in Swift. If she was, it didn't feel like it. But like, I had a nice Bree. Y'all had a survival of the fitness Bree. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck it takes to maintain my position in this game. And like, hey, I can't blame her. Like, Bree was amazing. She really was. And even you, Bree, you did a good job at adapting as well because people wanted your head on a platter and you would escape shit as well. So you can easily be in like a contendership for like the resiliency award as well, in my opinion. Hero of the season, we're gonna talk more about this on Monday. Sorry, we're not having a reunion tonight because like we're trying to go out. It's already 9:35 my time, and I'm like not gonna recap like racism, sexual harassment, and all of that shit that happened in pre-jury. And I want to end on a good note. So we'll talk about that Monday on either Spaces or Discord. Stay tuned. But Hero of the season, we gave it to Satanique because she was not afraid to jeopardize her game to speak up on things like implicit biases. Like she fully recognized and was aware that like she was in a great spot and that it's not in her like best interest to maybe speak up on these things and that she can easily get targeted. But she still went out of her way to speak up on things that she noticed or whatnot when it was like 6 POCs that went home in a row. So we're definitely gonna give that award to her. I think she also won most social tonight as well. So yeah, biggest sweetheart. She's not on the feed, but Jen Marie, loved Jen Marie. She was very sweet, very loyal to her people. She sent very extensive DRs as well. A lot of you guys sent extensive DRs. Brian did too. Like a lot of you guys really. This is our best season for DRs and like giving your thoughts or whatnot. So it was hard to pick. Between who would win those awards, but definitely Jen Marie, very sweet, like never complained, second to none, as she like said about us. The most robbed juror we definitely gave to Aqua, leaving on a technicality or whatnot, which is like I definitely say it's on our part, but like also like not to shade y'all, but on the players' part, like we could have like explained what happened with every tie. But I went back, I watched the footage. Bree said that it probably goes to a will. No one from production said that. We never said that anything was going to a will in a double tie. It was all Bree. I don't know if Bree did it on purpose, but we definitely never said that, and we never confirmed that. All Laura said was that if it ties, the people that it ties between becomes the voters. Nobody else asked what happens if those voters then went to tie the vote, which is, like I said, we could have explained that, but that's also not something we never stated a will. So in that instance, Aqua was definitely robbed because maybe she would not have went to a tie had she known that like the ringmaster was going to break it. And obviously there's so many variables going because like we're in a live finale. Daly forfeited his vote, which is many people probably did not remember that he forfeited his vote for who wanted the most or whatnot. So Yeah, by Max. Okay, anyways. Best strategist, you cannot listen. You cannot win player of the season and not win best strategist. We also gave that to Sophia. Listen, I'm just gonna call this a spade because I've seen a lot of things in the spec chat, etc., about Sophia cheating. Listen, Sophia's DR is insane. When I tell you that woman took notes from sun up to sundown, I felt like I was a substitute, not even a substitute teacher, bitch. I felt like I was a teacher with how much shit we had to pin, how much shit we had to favor. Like this girl studied this game sun up to sundown. Y'all should have been aware when she won that fucking crossword puzzle of things that took place in the game within an instant. That girl notes was like insane. Like she studied every aspect of this game, including the production bios from like day one, which I kind of hinted at will be used later on. She had all of that down. Like that girl for note taking is like very, very, very goated. And I would say on her voice chats, like with Amon, like I don't know how much sleep you did or didn't get,
Not much.
girl, because I'm a night owl, so I'm up from like maybe 1 to like maybe 5 a.m., 6 a.m. and you're on voice chats during those times, because I sat in on some and I'll go to bed and like I still see that you're active. But like, listen, I'm just saying, studying, that girl studied everything. Real talk. It's crazy, insane. I said Aqua was the most robbed juror. Yes. The most robbed pre-jury. She's not here. I would give it to Moon. Moon was such a queen. I wish you trusted your gut. And not have voted for Jason, because I feel like you knew in your heart that you should not have voted for him to be able to be selected. But you did because of Brew, which is Brew, I'm mad at you for like telling her that. Who knows? The season could be very different if Moon doesn't leave then. That's true. Like we never know. You guys maybe would have still went after her, but she most likely would not have left that round if she did not choose Jason. Well, she would not have, because he would not be able to pick her. And if Brew left, she would have benefited from him going home, kind of like had Daly benefited from when Brian left because he was no longer tied to him. And then the last award before we finish the night off is it's production favorite. And we're definitely giving it to Jason. Jason lost like so many of his allies early on, and like so many people kept just saying like, well, can just throw Jason in. What about Jason? Just throw Jason in, etc. And like he fought his ass off, like literally fought so hard, still made the live. Y'all are dumb as cats, rats ass for like voting him out the first round when I think Sophia was eligible to be voted out. I really thought, I was like, they're gonna snipe Sophia. Here we go. Sophia's leaving. This is smart. She's gonna go. She's been like the front runner, and then like
You literally volunteered for that.
I know. I was like, put me in.
When she stayed, I was like, fuck it. I was like, she's winning this shit if she stays, and like it's just crazy. She should have left there. Yeah, I voted out Jason, but he fought very hard, and we're very impressed with his gameplay. He had his back against the wall, similar to Daly, or whatnot, and yeah, that's why we gave that to Jason. I want to thank you guys for being probably the best season we've ever had. So many big moves were made. You guys are amazing. We love you all. All Stars 2, Society All Stars 2 is going to be in May. Small cast, not 42 bitches. 30 again. Look out for your invites. You bitches can say no now, but it's going to be different when I hound you and stalk you every day until you say yes. For you guys that are here, pre-jury members that are watching, obviously I'm going out, so we're not doing a reunion tonight. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. But on Monday, we have a lot to recap and talk about game-wise and like why you did what you did, why you evicted this person for that day. If you guys are free, it's not on video, it's just voice. We can do Twitter Spaces or we can do Discord voice. But we had some things to get into. There was a lot of fights in the pre-jury over like racism. Josh, why didn't you kick Caitlyn out of the game? sexual harassment, etc. But we can address those things first when we go into the game after that. If you're free Monday, please join. If you're not, let me know. I already made a separate group chat with the jury, so I think most of you guys are free. But congrats, Daily. Congrats, the winner, the new victor of society, Sophia. It was a very fucking epic ass season. See you guys May 8th for All Stars. I am out. Goodbye.
See ya.
Go get
And
bits.
I've got some bits messages to read, and then I'll close out the stream.
This, yeah.
Yeah. So let's see, where was I? Jack cheered 100 bits, said Queen 8. Congrats, Sophia. Thank you, Jack. Maddie cheered 4 bits, said another female winner. Let's go. Thank you, Maddie. Rachel All said love you, Daily. You killed it for 100 bits. Thank you, Rachel. Never cheered 100 bits, said Sophia. 3 heart emojis. Queen as always, and Daily, love you. Love you too, amazing. Amazing F2. Thank you, Never. Stu cheered 100 bits, said love you, Josh. That was after you gave him the favorite spec. Thank you, Stu. Thank you so much, everyone. Really, really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you, everyone. And congrats, Sophia. Congrats on a great season. I'm going to end the stream and the night here. So.
Wait, Hayden, they want to say goodbye.
Oh, yeah, let me say goodbye. Yeah.
I told everybody you was gonna win the first day of pregame.
Me too.
Next
I did not. I won't lie to you.
That's why I grabbed you, bro. I love you, Daily. I love you, Poppy.
Black
Y'all. Love y'all.
Danny's Black Market Society very soon. Bye.
Bye.